Here's a paragraph from this book, Adolf Hitler, Completer of the Reich from 1944. And I haven't gotten a chance to uh, translate this book yet, other than this one little section here, which I found very interesting. So this is probably another fantastic book. Just haven't gotten to it yet. But anyway, so the writer Walter Frank wrote, Bolshevism is the new awakening of the centuries old quote unquote Hunnic tradition of the East, right? And I've talked about the East in other videos, right? The Canaanites, the offspring of Satan, which the Jews are, the Hakka Chinese, the Mongolians, they are, in my opinion, the offspring of Satan. And then as they invaded back west, they interbred with the Canaanites, Edomites, and whoever they conquered, blacks, whites, etc. So, anyway, it is also the ultimate consequence of Marxism, which originated in Western European Judaism. To overthrow capitalism, right, which is Jewish, the Jewish intellectual Karl Marx taught the working masses one must first drive it to its zenith, right? Make capitalism the best, I guess. Therefore, the first step is to destroy all the reactionary obstacles that oppose capitalism, the middle class and peasantry, the army and the church, monarchy, right? All the revolutions, and national leadership, right? And they exterminated the European leadership after World War II. And nationalities in general, right? They're having non-whites invade all of our white nations. Then finally, when on one side stand the international giant corporations of capital, do we not have that today in 2025 and since World War II, right? Just a few companies own everything. Anyway, let me reread that. Then finally, when on one side stand the international giant corporations of capital of Jews, and on the other, the international disinherited masses of the proletariat, the transformation from capitalism to the socialist state of the future will occur quite naturally. And it has occurred today in 2025, over the last 80 years. That is where we are. What Walter Frank just wrote in 1944. I mean, the Germans were like literally prophets. They understood the world around them. And once they were defeated, nobody understood anything anymore for the most part. Anyway, continuing, Jewish hate instinct shaped the doctrine. For those forces of rootedness against which the proletarians' rage was to be unleashed were precisely the same forces that opposed the power of Judaism, right? So the Jews gathered and incited and inflamed the workers, the proletariat, the average people against those people who were actually trying to oppose the Jews and resist the Jews and speak the truth about the Jews. So, and that's why the Jews ran the labor unions, etc. That was all part of the plan to organize the masses against the, patriots, against the leadership, etc. Once these forces were destroyed, right, the forces that opposed the Jews were destroyed, then in the state of the future, the quote unquote Jewish intelligentsia, the international financial power, had to rise to world dominion above a leaderless mass. And that is where we are today in 2025. The Jews lead the leaderless mass of people of all nations. There's no leadership in our white nations or anywhere else. So, um, so yeah, that's a problem.